Travis Wayne Goodsell. I'm going to be doing this at least 3 times with different titles. So this will be one video, 3 titles. So if you've come to this and you've come to a previous one where I'm saying this, it's the same video, it's just a different title. I'm trying to get as much information out as possible for this one video. This is a condemnation of you, as well as a video that will provide you with extra information, though I shouldn't, because you don't deserve it. And the reason why you don't deserve it is because you aren't listening. You've been going out to visit your families for Thanksgiving, then you went out on Black Friday to the stores, and now you're going to church. And not just any day of church, is it, Christians? It's the Second Coming church. Advent, first Sunday of Advent of the Second Coming. But I don't think Christians come to my channel other than to say, what's all this thing about Mormons? I heard they're a cult. Try a cult. And so this is what you get for following the prophet. Nelson on the 20th came out with his video, show gratitude for your suffering and that'll cure coronavirus, among the other sins and mental illnesses you have. I have nothing nice to say about him. He caused this. Do you understand what a causation is? He didn't cause the virus, he didn't create it, but he, through being the president of the church, allowed it to spread and allowed it to escalate, as he was slow to shut down the church, and then opened too soon, as he used Governor Herbert as the cover. Oh, okay, we're being allowed by Governor Herbert to open up the church, so we're gonna be safe and try to protect you. Did you guys really fall? I guess you did fall for those code words of brainwashing. If you saw the movie What Women Want with Mel Gibson and the Twister girl, I can't remember her name. She came in to take over the job that Mel Gibson was supposed to get. So Mel Gibson is being a little snot, and but she gives a presentation talking about Sears doing an ad campaign for the softer side of Sears, which boosted revenue because they targeted the main shoppers, who are women, thus using code words that women would understand. For religious leaders, they know the code words to brainwash their audience. That's what I'm referring to. And so, as a result, we're going to have the biggest, most intense outbreak this week, as soon as now, because I've seen the numbers. People apparently were leaving the weekend before to arrive to spend the whole week with family, as the Friday and Saturday's numbers showed the increase in percentage of those getting sick. And again, remember, you need to double the percentage for the missing on Thanksgiving. They didn't post the numbers for Thanksgiving and doubled it up on Friday. But the percentage needs to be doubled up because the 2 days together made 26%. So you got to do 26 and 26% in the weekly totals. And I'm willing to bet that Utah is going to deceive the rest of the nation. And you'll hear, oh, Utah's percentage has gone down. And then all of a sudden, outbreak. And so don't be fooled by that. So that's the chastisement. And so you gave thanks, you gave gratitude by following the prophet for your suffering. Now you've cursed God and you're dying. Oh, if I get it, it's God's will. Just so pathetic that you guys are following prophecy the wrong way. So, now that I've chastised you, here's the extra added information for you. Russell M. Nelson is claiming that he's in the office of Moses. The office of Moses was created in the Kirtland Temple. It's section 110 of the Doctrine and Covenants. It was during Passover, April 3rd. Of 1835-ish. Do I have to check? I have updated my MP3 player to go running in the morning, and so I've got steps, and the theme song is going to be the Heartbreak in the City, which seems appropriate. And it is the trigger song to get me back to sprinting again after all this time. So that's cool. Awesome. Alright, so yes, Kirtland Temple, April 3rd, 36. So it was after he learned Hebrew. Interesting, isn't it? He learns Hebrew and then comes out and says, oh, Passover. Elijah and Moses came. Passover. I wonder where he learned about Passover from. Rabbi Sykes, maybe? So, yeah. Elijah is the reason why the Jews set out an extra table setting for their Passover feast, because they expect him to come back in the latter days as a spirit, and yet as a spirit clarify the Bible, the Torah, with the confusion that it has caused with the writer who wrote it a certain way, and with the missing information. And thus their first question that they're going to ask Elijah is, are we supposed to have an extra setting for you? Is that supposed to be the commandment that we're supposed to follow? So, Jews are so funny. Crack me up. Some of your greatest comedians are Jews. And I, according to my DNA, have a little trace amounts of Ashkenazi Jew as well as the former Jew who became assimilated into the various European cultures and then in American cultures. So, anyway, talking about genealogy, though, we have Moses with the Exodus. What caused the Exodus? Pop quiz. Here you go. If the latter days are about Moses being a parallel story event, Did you know this? Did you check out section 103 verse 16? Who does Joseph Smith talk about coming in the latter days for a Mormon exodus? Hello? Anybody? Bueller? I'm still chastising you, aren't I? Yes, a man like Moses. So, when Brigham Young took Mormons to the desert in violation of Jesus' commandment not to listen to somebody who says that Jesus is in the desert, people called him the modern day, the Mormon Moses. They understood, just as Joseph understood. And yet, since 1923, when the church decided to hinge point away from Brigham Young and all things Brigham Young, and thus cover up what Brigham Young accused Joseph Smith of which current LDS church historian critics are exposing was covered up about what Brigham accused Joseph Smith of, and therefore believe that Joseph Smith was actually the accusations that Brigham Young accused him of, rather than continuing their research to find out the truth about Joseph Smith. Yeah, so now we're evangelical, in case Mormons were wondering. We're Christian. Come on, Christians, love us. We're Christian. Still condemning. It's too... You guys frustrate me so much for your wickedness. And yes, you are fulfilling Book of Mormon prophecy now, as you want me dead. You want me judged according to your law and your God's interpretation. Helaman 6:22. Great, or the Gadianton Band. And so, yes, for those of you who did get it right, there were 3 days of darkness, stars falling from heaven, a virus. And the virus was what caused Pharaoh to say, "Leave. You win." This was a judgment, a court judgment. Pharaoh is the judge. He is all the government branches into one entity. He is also the religious leader. It's a theocracy. We don't have a theocracy in Mormonism, nor do we have it in America. And so we can't look for a theocratic leader of whom some mythical spirit Elijah or a resurrected Moses will come to and demand to let the people go. It's not a resurrected Jesus, as some early Mormons believed, that Joseph Smith was going to come back. But the office of Moses is the key to running the church. I know Nelson did the whole show and had the picture as he's touching the key of Peter. Get your hands off me. Don't touch me there. If you only knew the backstory on that. Concerning his one daughter that is remaining anonymous, who I think still has the lawsuit pending in the Supreme Court of Utah as to whether Nelson is supposed to be subpoenaed in that lawsuit for an incidents that happened to numerous children in the basement of their bountiful home. and you guys think that Q are Democrats. I can't. They open up the gateway for criticism. I can't. So anyway, Moses supposedly comes through Levi, but pay attention, because remember that the Bible author is still putting out clues for us. Joseph is the birthright firstborn blessing son. Firstborn son of Jacob, the usurper, who was then named Israel because, okay, fine, you usurped the birthright blessing from Esau, who then goes on to marry Judith, House of Judah, Utah, hello, phonetically equivalent. And so you'll now be named Israel. And we thank thee, O God, for Nelson, to guide us in these latter days as a translator, that we do not speak its title ever, because he botched it. It's Yah, Prince of God. Why Yah, Prince of God? Well, what is a prince? He's the heir to the throne. Last days is why God changed the name of Jacob, the usurper. He usurped the birthright blessing. Esau was supposed to be the birthright blessing son from whom the Messiah was to come through. Jacob usurped it. Thus, he now is the lineage through which the Messiah was now to come through. Get it? Got it? Good. Now you know Nelson's a fraud. And so Joseph is the birthright blessing son of Jacob, as we have Leah and Rachel with that little slavery incident for polygamy purposes. Laban wanting Leah married off because she has heavenly eyes, but oh, those thighs. 7 brides for 7 brothers says size. Interestingly, Middle Eastern culture loves women who have that size. So they love Leah. So I guess in their interpretation of the Bible, that the reason why she had heavenly eyes was because she was ugly rather than thick. I don't know. You'll have to ask them. Whole bunch of other movie clips just flooded my mind. I will not speak of any of them. But so as the firstborn birthright blessing son, he gets a double portion. Thus Ephraim and Manasseh, Ephraim usurps it from Manasseh even, become the birthright blessing sons, sharing the birthright and the blessing as the double portion, though Ephraim takes over as the head of the two, just like Jacob usurped it from Esau. And so the tribe of Ephraim then is the firstborn, even though he was the secondborn. And so what did the virus kill? The firstborn of Egypt. This is how succession of Pharaoh is decided. That's why Pharaoh lost. It's because the dynasty was destroyed with the death of his son, the firstborn. Yah, Prince of God, murdered by coronavirus of Egypt. And remember the biblical author throwing in, as he introduces the Exodus and introduces baby Moses, like baby Yoda. He's so cute. That a pharaoh rises up that does not know Joseph. No man knows his history. Yes, Joseph Smith likewise refers to Joseph, as the Book of Mormon refers to Joseph, the father and the son having the same name. And so what happens with Joseph Smith? A president of the church, usurping it, who knew not Joseph, but made a whole bunch of accusations, started taking Mormons into the desert in violation of Matthew 24's Jesus commandment not to take people into the desert claiming Jesus is there. And then establishing the inverted pentagram of Lucifer on Temple Square, carved in stonemasonry. And so, have you received your patriarchal blessing, the majority of you white European Mormons? What is the majority of you? Ephraim. When Joseph became second to all Egypt, that not only gave him great power, it also made his children heir to the throne, because they can now marry into Pharaoh's daughters, who contain the blood right to become Pharaoh, thus maintain the dynasty through the daughters. And so, even though they're a different name, they can still maintain the dynastic succession. And so, here you have a Pharaoh who knew not Joseph. Firstborn of Egypt dies, cutting off succession, and it's a parallel to the latter days. As we have a Nelson, who's a medical doctor. Moses had the serpent staff, of which doctors now have symbols of. There's two kinds. There's the one snake and then there's the two snake one. I think doctors are the one snake of Moses, not the two snakes of the other pagan, which Catholics called them pagan. They're ancient. More classical, though, I think. It's Greek, I think. I can't remember his name. But regardless, Nelson's a medical doctor. He claims to be in the office of Moses, though he can't translate worth a lick, as he is clueless as that he's supposed to be Yah, Prince of God, and botches it royally. And yet, he's telling Mormons to have gratitude for the coronavirus. Don't let the coronavirus keep you from going to church today after the major outbreak that is about to occur, because you went and had Thanksgiving with your families, and then you went shopping on Black Friday. Now you're going to church today because Nelson won't shut it down as we're in red. That was the requirement from the beginning. If you enter into the red zone, which means the percentage is over 10%, you have to shut down. Don't let money guide your decision making. But nope, Governor Herbert and the church said money is more important than your life. And as a result, you are dying. You are being extorted to go to work. You are in conflict because schools shut down, so kids stay home. What do? You don't have a babysitter. You can't pay for a babysitter. You have to go to work. If you hadn't lost your job with the first wave of shutdowns. And so they're purposely causing problems. This is not supposed to be complicated, but they want to follow the parable of Jesus that you can't be lukewarm. You have to be hot or cold. And they're choosing to be lukewarm. What happens to lukewarm water? You spit it out. I don't know why you won't spit out hot water. It burns my tongue. But nonetheless. And so, what's happening, Mormons? You're the firstborn, birthright, blessing children from the tribe of Ephraim, and you're listening to Pharaoh, not Moses. Because Pharaoh was the one who said, everything's fine, no virus, it's a hoax, it'll be gone by summer, be gone by Easter, be gone by Christmas. Yeah, Christmas is now ruined. War on Christmas was not from the Democrats, was it? Oops. War on Christmas is by evangelicals. Who voted for Trump. Do you see, Mormons, how you're fitting into prophecy? You're the bad religion. Is that the name of a group, or is that the name of the song from the group? Bad Religion. I think it's the song title. Oh. Doing. So it says it's the name of the band. Yeah, Bad Religion is the name of the band. Okay. Greg Gaffin, Brett Gurwitz, Brian Baker, Greg Hetson, and more. Punk rock, skate punk, hardcore punk, melodic hardcore. Associated with circle jerks. This is why I've been warning you guys. We've been following the pattern from the Bible for the second coming. The signs of the second coming have happened. You guys suspected it back in 2014 and 2015. Remember the lunar eclipses, the tetrad? 3 apostles die? Yeah, that was the setup. That was Elijah, the forerunner. It's Moses time. Moses Malone. Carl Malone. Yeah, the father of Carl Malone. And so, we have hesitation by God as we're still waiting for the Exodus. And so I'm able to keep scolding you and chastising you and condemning you over and over again because you're not listening. And the more I scold and chastise, the more you don't listen. And YouTube's helping because of their analytical program, because my same exact video that was stolen by another Mormon because he liked what he heard. And so he took a clip out of my video, which that video over 37 by now, but as you can tell, I'm only getting maybe 50 on average for videos now, whereas he, for the stolen video of mine, already has over 4,400 views since July. So clearly YouTube has it out for me, as I'm being censored, specifically targeted in their analytical program. And so those of you who do come to this, yay, you bypassed their attempts to keep you from my video. My videos. Yet nonetheless, there you go. There's more information for you. Is that the firstborn of Ephraim are dying with the coronavirus because you're not listening to the true Moses. So I'll retitle this at least 3 times unless I come up with another title for it, and go from there.